Good evening. Welcome into a Tuesday night edition of Hidden Gems live stream interviews. We're back here again tonight on the defensive side of the ball. We have a client that we're really excited about actually working with. Who's given us a chance to work with him, and can't say enough about him. He's got an amazing resume. Nazir Wright. He's an outside linebacker, edge type player. Um, Spent some time at a couple of different colleges, as you can see, Dodge City Community College, Stephen F. Aujstin, and then finished his career at William Patterson University. He's 6'2", 230. We're going to get into after college. He had a chance to join the XFL for a period of time, and we'll get into that part of his journey. But that we're for the next hour or so, we're going to take some time and get to know Nazir. I want to just kind of highlight this up front as well. Throughout the course of his college career, I was able to document and record that he played in 40 games total. He had 118 solo tackles, 93 assisted, for a total of 211 tackles on his college career, 13 sacks, 39 and a half tackles for loss. That's right. I said 39 and a half. One interception, 18 pass deflections, 5 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, and 4 block kicks. And if I'm missing something, Nazir, I apologize. This is just what I was able to gather from all of your college bios. And I know that dealing with athletes, I'm reminded very periodically that a lot of times these colleges don't document all the numbers and things. So please forgive me if those are not pinpoint accurate. But I think those are enough numbers there to show a highly productive college career. And I just want to go ahead and get into this as well before we jump into your interview portion of the story. I wanted to talk about very briefly. Where's that? Oh, shoot. I apologize. Internet's give me a little bit of trouble. Here we go. Okay, here we go. I just wanted to briefly talk about, awards and honors as well. I want to make sure that we highlight that. You're a 2-time first team All NJAC selection. You are 1-time second team All ECAC selection. 2017 All KJCC honorable mention, NJAC Defensive Player of the Week, D3Football.com All Region 2 second team. In 2022, you were the NJAC Sam Mills Defensive Player of the Year. And then I also found that you were on the all-time D3Football.com All-American fourth team honorable mention. So you had a very highly productive college career from a statistics standpoint, from an awards and honors standpoint. Talk a little bit about just your overall college career and that experience and your productivity on the field.
Well, I can honestly say this all started when, the beginning of all of this was Dodge City. It kind of like molded me a little bit. It turned me to the guy I was. It broke me down. It made me humble for a while. It made me truly enjoy the experience of football rather than actually knowing like A to Z football, like the original way. So as far as that, that was like the beginning of like a standpoint of like of my football career in general. I always thought like, I make it this far, I make it to college. I want, go in front of the crowd, play for Alabama, Syracuse, play some D1 football. I call it quits. But like I figured the way I started with junior college, the building, the foundation of it, it actually made me appreciate a little more. Just the
Mhm.
fan, just TV time, the jersey, the name behind it, but the simple stuff, the simple stuff.
Right, right. So let's kind of just start right from the beginning. You start out at Dodge City Community College. Take kind of and really, I need to start back further than that. Talk about briefly where you played your high school ball, and where you're originally from.
So I'm originally born and raised Pacific, New Jersey, raised in Patterson, New Jersey. My
Okay.
high school was John F. Kennedy High School.
Okay.
I was kind of like lost, a little bit confused about football, trying to fit in a little more, trying to understand myself as well. Ended up playing three positions, of course: tight end, receiver, linebacker. And, and as I was like learning myself, trying to gather like who I am for as an individual, I was like, okay, I can. Around my sophomore junior year, I was like, okay, I can understand the football material. I can understand the mechanics. Then as I'm getting breaking down, I'm like, there's certain things as a high school aspect that I have to figure out. Like, do I really want to pursue this football career, or I'm just doing this for fun? And it kind of clicked. Like, I have like something to prove. I have something to like to show for. Like, be proud of myself. Because around me it's more so you go to school, okay, you make it, get a little job, small time, do your little, have a family, 9 to 5. But I'm thinking outside the box of it. I have a
Mhm.
family to feed. I have younger brothers to look up. So they have to look up to me as far as like the way I move, the way I go about my life. So I consider my life as like more of a role model. And there's always that one thing I said in my head: if I could do it, everybody else can definitely do it. So with
Right.
that being said, with my junior senior year, I started like to like love the game a little more, and I was appreciating like the things that came after it. So people looked at me in a different way as a student and athlete.
So, were you which position did were you most comfortable with in high school?
It was definitely receiver. I had who was my main guy I looked up to? Victor Cruz. We had Julio Jones. We had around my time. Who else it was? Of course, I played a little bit of tight end. I took by Gronkowski, the greats, of course,
Hmm.
but mostly it was wide receiver.
Okay. Why were you so comfortable at receiver? Why'd you like that position so much?
I mean, even this go back to Little League. I was a tight. I started as a tight end. I caught my first touchdown. It didn't feel like anything, but it just I don't know, something in me like kicked that some type of anger that kicked in when I scored my first touchdown. I was like, if it's that easy, I'm gonna keep going. I moved on. I moved on to high school. I started capital touchdowns, couple passes, making changes and shift and movements of the game because of literally one catch. I was like, okay, I can keep going. I understand fundamentals. And ever since then, I'm looking at wide receiver Victor Cruz highlights. Like I said before, Gronkowski highlights. I'm looking at how to catch the ball a certain way, how to move a certain way. And as you get older, your body changes a little bit. So I was getting to it.
So, how in the world did a guy that fell in love with a receiver, watching Victor Cruz highlights and trying to learn from some of the modern day greats and different things, how did you go from being a receiver to wanting to join the dark side and become a headbanger?
I tell it like it happened yesterday. How can I explain that? It was at one point my coach, he was just being honest with me. He was like, "Hey, I get it. You're 190. You're 6'2". You're a receiver. You're a dog. We get it. Cool." But a coach was offering me to switch my position and see how I really like turn for real. So of course I could show you this play down below if you like to show later. There's one seer clip from scrimmage, from scrap, literally from scrap. It was a screenplay. I read the ball, I analyzed what was going on. I seen a running back 101, and literally my first helmet pop of the year of my life. I was like, wow, at linebacker. And after that, just kept going and going and going. I was like, you know what? I like the dark side a little bit. I like a little,
You
a
like
little evil
banging
taste.
heads?
There we go. There we go. I could be able to take some frustration out without getting charged for it.
So once you transitioned to linebacker, did it really just kind of take off for you? I mean, did you really kind of come into your own, or?
I had to, like I said, when it came to Dodge City, I had to like actually adjust to the position because I'm fresh off high school. Literally not even 2 months out of graduation, I'll hop right into fall semester of going to the next school, and it was like, wow, I have a lot of growing up to do. A lot of growing up to do. What kept me going in the game, I had a breaking point. I was in the gym. I was in the gym. I was pushing weights. They kept telling me, "You want to be this person? You want to be this guy? You have to get to this weight. You have to max out to this level." I was at a point where I was this close from saying, "You know what? Forget football. It's not for me. I'm going back home. I'm far away from home, from Kansas. I gotta go." But I don't know. It was one set that I was like, you know what? I just keep going with this. And I just kept at that same mindset. If I had one more in me, like one more kick in me, that's all it takes. And,
So were you recruited as a receiver out of high school, or were you recruited as a linebacker?
as a linebacker, surprisingly, as a linebacker.
Really? So what made you take the JUCO route? Why Dodge City? Why the Kansas pipeline? Why JUCO in general?
There's two reasons why. One reason I told myself after high school I cannot repeat history. I see it every day. People just, like I said earlier, they graduate, find a small time job, move on with their life. I was like, there's always something more in me that I can do. And it took me some growing up to do to actually leave my home, the comfort of my home, my parents, my siblings.
Right.
So I was like, in order for me to make this happen, I have to grow up and actually live on my life a little bit, just a little bit, not too much.
Sure.
But the second reason for this was I had a lot of promises as far as like, when schools come in, they talk to you here and there about your position. Oh, we like you. I had the GPA and everything. We like you. We like the size. I guess I just never met the physicality going into my freshman year to like, let's see, Rutgers, Temple, Troy. They saw me as, I guess, the year was progressing and I still didn't make the weight. I was like, I guess, below weight. You know how the average freshman is supposed to come in. But other than that, I didn't take no fault to it. I didn't take no harm. Like I said, I was humble. I realized if I want to go to the next step, as far as like, D1, D2, whatever, I had to. Sweet old Western Kansas. That was rough, but I did it.
So you came to the realization there was still some more work to be done. There was some more in the weight room, more on the field, just some more growing in general as a linebacker that need to be done.
Yes.
So okay, so that really makes sense. So you go to Dodge City, and obviously Kansas, Mississippi, two of the biggest, most well-known JUCO pipelines. Most of those are D1 kickback schools, that's where they make their living is, resurrecting careers of former D1 players. And so what was your first thought when you got to Dodge City? I mean, I'm sure you had to have seen some big time D1 players that were being kicked back and things like that you were going to have to compete with. What was that like walking in the door?
Very motivated actually. I was impressed. I was like, I'm not on a team full of like people wishing and hoping. I'm on a team with people that's willing to do it and get it done. That was the whole mindset. I looked at everybody the same. I treated everybody the same. But of course, your status was if this coach wanted you, you were important. So of course, the people that came for like their coaches came back to back for the same player, I'll watch them every single day just because his move, how you run, how you tackle. It was the only way. And like I said earlier, I had the motivation of if I don't get it done today, it's not gonna happen tomorrow. And that was the mindset every day, every single day.
When did you know at Dodge City? When was the moment that you knew, okay, I can really do this at a higher level. I can fly around. I can play with some of these D1 guys. I can do what they do.
Back to, like I said again, maturing. I had to cut down some bad habits. Late night staying up, late night video games.
Yeah, you can't be a night owl.
No more partying. I gotta actually understand like this is like my last chance. Like it was all going downhill for me. I had to figure out what was most important for me and for my family. So I put them first.
Did you see examples, positive examples from some of those maybe D1 kickbacks, like the look in their eye that just kind of, this is my last chance, it's make or break, survival mode, every day's a grind, there's no friends, I don't have time to talk, I'm here to work. Did you see that from other guys that had been to the higher levels and then been kind of kicked back down for a minute?
It was a switch for them. It was definitely a switch. Off the field, of course, we're classmates, teammates, hang around a little bit, play the game here and there. But once they're on the field, once they're in the meeting room, the switch is back on. Like no jokes, no laughing matter. Take this serious. And if you did, of course, try the captain or the bounce back, they'll look at you different. They separate themselves, and it shows. Like, you want to play around, cool, go right there. I got things to do.
Yeah. What kind of influence did that have on you?
I was shocked because I'm from a town, I'm from an old, of course, high school where we don't do that. We usually just submit to it. We usually just follow the leader. Right. But I always wanted to be an outcast. I wanted to be something different. So me seeing that from different experiences is like, oh, if he can do it, I could do it too. It's as simple as that.
So it's pretty noticeable, kind of like taking a knife and cutting through butter. Like, there was a divide line. Here's the people that are kind of glad to be here, and here's the group that they're on a mission. They got things to do.
Yes, definitely.
So you knew right away, I'm stepping over here on this side of the line.
If it took me to get to where I wanted to get to, yes, sir.
So you play in 11 games right out of the gate, JUCO. 36 solo, 28 assisted, first year college football, 1 sack, but you had 7.5 tackles for loss. You blocked 2 passes, you deflected 2 passes, a forced fumble, 3 fumble recoveries, and you blocked 2 kicks as a first-year college player. I mean, that's not just an average stat line. That's somebody that's flying around and balling out, really. And you get honorable mention all conference honors. What did that do for your confidence?
It was at first, I was still young, learning the football game a little bit. I was kind of disappointed. I felt like I deserved just a tiny bit more. But my coach would say it best, like, you had the body, you had the size, but the mentality when it comes to like fast football was still developing. Mm-hmm. So I needed just a little kick more. And I guess that right there was like my kickstart, my little humble stage.
So, okay. So let's talk about the next step of the journey. You're in JUCO. You've done your first season. Obviously, JUCO can be a 2-year program. It can be a year, 6 months, year and a half, whatever. You're starting to get evidently recruited by some big programs, and you end up at Stephen F. Aujstin, a Division I program. What was that like first year into JUCO to start getting those D1 offers again? And be like, okay, now I'm moving in the direction I want to move in.
What's the saying again? I feel like a kid during Christmas. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what gift to appreciate the most. I was like, I received this gift, that gift, this letter, that letter. Coaches coming in and out the office. I'm like, I did something good. Honorable mention got me this far, so at least they recognize me. And I was just like, you know what? Whatever school takes me, I'm appreciative at the end of the day.
So how many offers did you have in total after that first JUCO season?
In total was, I had 3 offers and 3 offers, 2 Division I AA, no, 1 Division I, 1 Division I AA, 1 Division II in Nevada.
What was the Division I FBS level offer?
We had Louisiana Raging Cajuns.
Okay.
I wanted to be there. Their speed, outside back edge, and it was another team. No, North Dakota State.
Okay.
Yes, green and white, and the
Yeah.
D2 team was Nevada.
Yeah. North Dakota State's the big dog team of the FCS.
Yes, that was the goal.
So why was Stephen F. Austin the choice? What?
Um,
I mean, you had a chance to go play for North Dakota State, who wins national titles. Like
definitely.
that's the routine they have there. They don't play around.
No, but it was everything. Like I said, everything was a journey. Everything takes time. Everything's all mental. It's like whatever you say now can affect you tomorrow. So I was like, I never been to Texas before, and everything's big in Texas, and that's just the heart of football. And I was like, why not join the heart of football? And then after that, a couple months later I'm on letter of 10. I was a lumberjack.
So, what was it like stepping on that D1 campus in Texas where everything is bigger and football is like king?
Let's just say the promises was made. My eyes got big, my opportunities got wider, my connections expanded a little more. I was like, this is something I was looking for a long time ago. I'll always be grateful for JUCO, but this is something I was looking for since my freshman year.
I mean, all you have to do is say the word football, and anybody in Texas, they throw money at it just willingly. Like,
Yeah.
were when was the what was your thought process the first time you saw one of the high school stadiums down there?
I was jealous. I was extremely jealous. Like I go from the littlest, the smallest state in New Jersey to one of the second or first biggest states in the United States.
I mean, even the high school stadiums down there are like cathedrals.
They look like Division One football and fields. I was like, oh my goodness, that's insane.
Would you have liked to have played high school football in Texas in one of
Oh,
those
of course,
cathedrals?
yes,
I mean, it's like the movie Friday Night Lights. I mean, that's a true story. They shut down entire towns for football.
yes. I mean, like nobody gets past unless you buy a ticket. Like it's mandatory. It was just mandatory.
So, what was it like playing for the Lumberjacks? How was your experience at Stephen F?
Um, it was kind of wild. The homecoming, the pep rallies. It made you feel like a kid again while being on TV, while receiving fans, while writing autographs. I felt like the dream actually came true. The coaching experience was top tier. The atmosphere, of course, it was like literally you waking up to a virtual reality headset. But to me, I it was real. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Um, that kind of like summed up like something I see on TV every day, every single day.
You play in 10 games there. Now, stat wise, minimal stats. I mean, 4 solo, 5 assisted. According to what I saw online and was able to write down notes of. Talk about kind of what happened there, like the production drop off and what happened to me. Are the numbers incorrect on the website?
No,
Talk
no, no, no. The numbers are actually correct. I was playing behind uh, a first year or a 4 year starter, and I was behind a senior that actually was about to go play in the NFL. So I was actually like watching from him. So I
okay.
didn't mind. Sorry.
No. Go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead.
So I didn't mind shadowing him, watching him, see what plays he done. Of course, we had a bad season. It was poorly 2-8. Yeah, 2-8. And I had to like, you know what, take this in, learn the season, get the way he knows, and like ask questions, do what you do as a rookie. He was telling me, hey, this might not be the best season, but I hope you learned a lot because there was a lot to learn from. And I'd rather learn from a losing season than I just win one. Because if you win every game, then what mistakes do you have?
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of grasped his, attention, his understanding, and I'll move forward with that. Of course, with my low ability of stats.
Well, I mean, it's just kind of the normal progression of college. I mean, you were behind some old heads that had earned the right to be on the field and do what they do. You were just having to wait your turn, basically.
Yes.
Um, and then the season kind of went south a little bit. So, talk about what your mindset was coming out of that season, um, going into 2019. Because I noticed, as I was trying to gather stats and stuff, there was, documentation, or what I don't say documentation, but it was noted on several pages that you didn't play in 2019. Can you talk about what happened there?
So towards the end of that season, I felt I was always a positive person, no matter if it was good or bad season. I feel like I said recently, it was a learning season. I had to gather literally all my thoughts and understanding, like, hey, I've been here before. That happened to me, like sort of like in JUCO. It was like a same situation, same mindset. Teammates giving up on you. They start forgetting who you are as a brother. They start to give you the cold shoulder after a while. And so it's like you learn from that. You gather how you could change your mindset from there going into the next season, actually improving yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I learned from that last season. But going to the new season, it was kind of like a good beginning, sad ending in a way, because we shift into new stages of the coaches, like a whole coaching staff.
Okay.
I learned the game a little more throughout the spring, going into summer. I learned how to gather myself as a linebacker. I know how to do certain things the way they want me to shape as well. I learned about myself more rather than just a game of football, and actually like see what's wrong on me mentally. So I actually can go to the game like mentally focused. No worries, no family trauma, no girls, little things like that. As we enter the summer and going into fall, it was actually funny. I was projected to actually start on a couple. We were in like a 4-2 base. I was projected to start on a couple packages, and I was kind of excited going to fall camp. And as I'm getting into week 2 of fall camp, we had some guys down. Of course, like the big guys I was talking about, I was going to the lead or whatever. He was down, and a guy was down for 2 weeks, but he, of course, he healed. He was progressing. I was starting at that time, and as they was testing my hydration, my time of need as far as playing field, they was like, you know what, let's give him a shot, let's get him going. He, I played throughout the whole week of in the middle of week 2 of camp, and then after a while, I was breaking down because I had like a medical situation. I finished, of course, I finished the practice. I did the last 3 drills, no breaks or whatever. Took my water. I had this thing where I was catching full body spasms, and it wasn't looking too good. And everybody kept asking. I hate the feeling when people ask, "Are you okay?" Because I'm not okay, but I'm gonna keep going. As D1, I have to impress myself.
Right.
So, week was a Thursday, Wednesday. I caught a full body spasm. They took me out of practice. I had to go to the hospital, of course, get some IVs in me, get my fluids going. And that's when I was okay. This happened to me in high school. I'm not so concerned, but it came back again. Then I took a week off. Of course, the training staff was like, "We'll give you a week off, trying to see what's wrong with you, trying to catch your electrolytes, make sure you're hydrated well, like no drinking, no parties." I didn't do anything. It's football season. We got this week. This is the first year we had Baylor first week, so I'm focused on Baylor. Of course, I'm on TV. I have to take it serious.
Yeah.
Week 2, fresh off Tuesday morning, I was noticing the signs again, like cramping, twitching, like aching. But I finished a practice, and it got to the point where I did the sprints, hop right into the drills, then I hop right into the team one. You know how team one, team two. I felt the breakdown again. Of course, took some water, and as we switch into like third down, fourth down coverages, I immediately left the field. It happened again. The coach was disappointed. The training staff was disappointed. I went to the hospital. I was there for like a good 3 4 days. Now we in week 4 of camp, going to scrimmage week. They told me to wait the 2 weeks out, see how you feel, see what the doctors say. And just before week 1, I got told I was medically disqualified to continue the season. And I kind of everything just went downhill. I went from third string starting for the ones. They liked me. They liked me. They was loving me. And then hit with the medical disqualification.
So did they figure out what was going on and what was causing that issue?
At first they said I wasn't hydrated enough. I wasn't eating as much, but it was to the point where I overhydrated and I was overeating at one point. So they knew this wasn't that. I had plenty of fluids. I had plenty of nutrition side. I had a dense kidney tube. Then I noticed when I come back, like this is literally about COVID time, 2019 going into 2020. I didn't play the season. I kept going to the hospital. They kept saying, "Yeah, you have like a banged up kidney tube." It's like the thing is called urethral obstruction. If I said it right, urethral.
Okay.
It's a
Yeah.
thing where I would take a bunch of fluids. I'll be overflowing with like water or Gatorade, but it will come like so dense, so it would drop rather than just flush.
Yeah.
So me playing at a high level when it's it's Texas, so like 100-something degrees.
Right.
Well, the water in me, nothing's passing, nothing's going through. It's more so like I was affecting myself even more because I had nothing to flush. So the water I drink now will come out maybe 3 hours, 2 hours later.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to perform at that level, so it kind of messed me up a little bit for a couple of years.
So
Yeah.
did you finally were they able to help you get that taken care of to a point where you're able to go back to playing at a high level and control that now, or?
Yes, they actually did. I had to actually leave, SFA as a student and an athlete because of the COVID and the fact that I'm not playing football over no more. So I lost my scholarship and I was totally gone. I came back home because it was COVID and I had to restart. I did like a whole restart.
Okay.
Went back home and I was told if I wanted to go through the procedure of the surgery with my kidney, I would have to think about it because it's your kidney. You only got to your whole life.
Yeah.
I waited out a little bit. I waited out. This is going towards the fall of 2020. Of course, when still COVID was around, I went through the surgery. I had urethral obstruction on my right kidney tube. Yes. It took me a month to gather myself. It took me 2 months to actually start walking. Not walking again, but taking fluids and actually processing the right way. See how I feel. So they told me in January 1st, let us know how your blood flow is, how your electrolytes is processing, and we should clear you for football once again. And I'm not gonna lie, I was shocked. I almost broke down crying again. I thought it was over for me. Because once you sign, I believe they told me once you sign that you're medically disqualified, you're just done NCAA for sports period. And I was like, I can't go outside like that. I have to figure something out. And so that's what happened in 2020.
So a blessing came around and you were able to medically get cleared and return to football and go back to what you love.
Yes.
So how did William Patterson come around? How did that all play out?
Well, prior to me graduating from high school, I had a couple guys that played at William Patterson, but he also took the JUCO route as well. He introduced me to the school and everything. He was like, "You should come here. You should appreciate it more. We're gonna treat you right as long as you promise what you was gonna bring to the table." And I was like, I hesitated at first. I'm gonna think about it because first it was me like, okay, I just came from a D1. Why would I automatically transfer to a D3? Like I'm scooping to the lower level. It's me being cocky, of course, because I was on TV. I had the jersey. I had it all. I couldn't mentally get myself into a Division III aspect. And after a while, I was like, okay, it's starting to get to summer again. What am I going to do? I'm working out all COVID season long. I'm like, I can't let this workout go for waste. And I called my guy up, and I was like, okay, where do I sign? And ever since 2021, going into fall, that's when it all happened.
So you got to William Patterson. When did the switch turn back on in your mindset? Just be like, okay, it's football, it's college football. this is my chance. I've been blessed with a second opportunity, so to speak, more or less a second chance here. When did it all just kind of click and you just say, you know what, I'm about to lay it all on the line. I'm not going to leave anything to chance. When I walk away from here, I'll be able to say I did everything in my power to move on to the next step.
I did my research and analysis on the probability of Division III athletes going to the league. I looked at Division II, I looked at Division I. And of course, Division I, you're like probability like 75, 85% at least going to the practice field with some team.
Mm-hmm.
Division II, the percentage is dropping around like the 64 to 54%. And then Division I, of course, it went way below like 20, 10%. And I was asking around, like, what are the odds of me actually making it out? Like, I wanted to SFA at Patterson. They said the odds are slimly, like I said, 15 to 20% low, not high, low. And I was like, so I have to be that individual dog then, like at each game, at each practice. They said most likely, yeah. And it's actually crazy because the coach I was under at the time was a former Giants player, Sean Williams. He was a DB, participated in the Super Bowl, played for the whole 9 years. It was actually learning from the guy. So he actually told me there's a slim chance you can actually make it from Division III.
If you do more research, you'll find that the players that last longer and succeed more tend to be D2 and D3 players, FCS guys, because they have a chip on their shoulder. Those FBS guys a lot of times are entitled and they don't work hard. They take it for granted. Those are the ones that typically wash out of the league sooner than a lower level guy. They might have a higher probability of getting in the door, but if you do your homework, you'll find out they don't necessarily last quite as long.
Wow. There's note to self. Oh, my goodness.
So if you're a dog and you really have that chip on your shoulder, D2, D3, NAI, you can still find your way there and make it work. It's really just a mental determination thing. So you go into William Patterson, and I mean, you literally just break out. I mean, as we talked about up front, I mean, two-time All NJAC first team selection, second team All ECAC, D3Football.com All Region 2, third team, second team. 2022, you were the NJAC Sam Mills Defensive Player of the Year. You make the all-time D3Football.com All-American fourth team, honorable mention. So obviously, All-American selection. I mean, everything just kind of came together at that point. I mean, what was your mindset as all these things are starting to happen and your body's starting to go again and you're starting to rack up production and these awards and honors are starting to happen? What's your mindset at that point?
Of course, after the first year, I was like, okay, I made it this far, I was actually glad to be back at the game of football that I love because it was devastating to hear that news a couple years back. But as I was going into the new year, I was like, I feel like every year I've been making a change. I have to make the biggest change in my life. That was going to that year. I had to dismiss everything. I had to get rid of any toxin that was going to affect my career. Nothing other than football was a mindset. Football. Of course, second chance because of my medical condition.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, at this point, you start to change your whole mindset. You're changing nutrition, workout habits, who's in your circle, how you think about practice, the way you watch film. I mean, everything. You just start changing the whole routine.
Absolutely.
And I mean, it pays off because you play in 19 games at William Patterson. You record 78 solo, another 60 assisted, 12 sacks, 32 tackles for loss, 4 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles, 2 block kicks. I mean, again, you had pretty outstanding production. I mean, And the awards and honors obviously speak to that. How comfortable were you there, not just with the team and the environment, but the defensive system that you were operating out of?
Comfortable is a very difficult word. I say I was more so I won't say comfortable. I was in a more so controlled environment. I know how to control the game.
Okay.
I know how to adjust the defense to the point where if it comes to me making the last tackle, I will do so. Because I was always the weak side. They always run away from the weak side. So as long as I got my teammates right to get to their position the right way, if they do their job, and of course I'm going south or east or west, that's my kill. I had no other excuse other than to make the tackle.
Okay. Yeah. Now, what I didn't ask this earlier, and I should have, but I'll ask it now. Think back to Dodge City and even your high school career, and then Stephen F. Aujstin and William Patterson. Talk about the different defensive schemes that you've operated out of as a linebacker, whether it was 3-4, 4-3, 4-2-5, and discuss a little bit in generalities. I'm not asking you to give up any strategic secrets at any of the schools, but just talk about generality position responsibilities as the outside linebacker, the will, within those schemes. Can you do that for me?
Of course, yeah. I could say high school and Dodge it was the same. SFA and William Patterson is similar a little bit. What kind of made it the same was not really the same. The more so the mindset of how I was breaking everything down was more like, okay, if I'm doing this at this position and I'm not satisfied the way I actually play, who can I learn this from? And my last coach from D1, he made it more simpler for me. He said, turn the Seattle Seahawks game. Watch how they formation, watch how they switch from 4-3, 4-4, 2-4, 4-4, 4-3. And I was like, I never thought of it like that. I'm just thinking, you're playing football, whatever the coach says you do, you do. But it's like, I'm playing football. It's not more so what the coach is doing, it's more so what you see. Coach can't see it on the field, you see. So it's like, you could just shift your mind to, okay, he motion, you do that. It should, like, the things I wanted to learn and wanted to be better at was like quick football. And I was bad at that in the beginning, like I mentioned. So as I learned the game more, I watched film outside of film. And I was like, okay, this is how fast the game is. This is what it takes to get to the next level. So I was like, if that's what I'm about to do, if that's what I'm willing to do, if that's the next step I'm willing to take, I have to like go deeper, like actually know the game of football for real.
So you became a student of the game. How many different schemes have you operated out of over the course of your college and high school career?
3.5, 4, if I could say 3.5. Because the fourth one is most likely just two players shifting.
Okay. So what, you've been in a 4-3?
4-3 mostly.
4-2-5?
4-2-5, that's the tricky part because I went to 2 4-2-3, 4-2 teams and 1 4-3 team. But the 4-2 team I switched was every time I get in, I went from 4-3. Every time I get out, it's a 4-2.
Okay. Have you operated out of a 3-4?
Once my first year of SFA, I was also like adjusting to what the end would do rather than what the nose would do.
Okay. 3-3-5.
Well, yes, of course. That's the only time you ran a nickel package. That's when I was like the fast edge, fast edge flat route.
I got you. Okay, so you've operated out of quite a few systems then. How have your film study habits changed over the years? You talked about obviously that you learned and you figured out I've got to be more of a student of the game. If I want to make it to a higher level, I've got to study film outside of team requirements. I've got to go study film on my own time. and I've got to put more hours and time in weekly doing just this. When did that change happen for you, becoming a student of the game?
It was more so like the rewards I cherish at the end of the year. I would watch my mistakes. So
Okay.
any highlights I made for that following year, I'm just breaking down my highlights. I'm like, okay, that was good, but what can I improve on that? Okay, I
Mhm.
made a tackle here, but I couldn't. What could prevent me from making a tackle 2 yards earlier or 3 yards earlier? So I watched little things I could work on. I was like, okay, I'm lacking muscle here. I'm lacking fatigue here. Literally anything I reward myself for that following year will be my mistakes for the next year because I don't want to repeat the same as last year, this year. So
Mhm.
little details to myself.
So again, just for those that are joining us or have joined us, we're here with Nazir Wright, 6'2", 230-pound outside linebacker, edge player. Um, Dodge City Community College, Stephen F. Austin University, William Patterson University. Um, just went over his accolades again. 40 games played total in his college career. 118 solo tackles, 93 assisted, 211 total, 13 sacks, 39 and a half tackles for loss on his career, one pick, 18 pass deflections, 5 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, 4 block kicks. Um, so you've done JUCO, you've gone D1, you had a medical condition that you had to deal with for a year and a half or so. Then you move on to D3 and you just blow up and you dominate and you rack up all sorts of awards and honors. What's your mindset coming out of D3? What's on the horizon at that point?
That as the accolades is kicking in, I'm seeing it all over social media. I was like, oh, I'm actually that guy. Like I actually did something for once in my life, and I was proud of it. I was like, you know what, this is all the hard work I earned. I did it over the course of the summer. It didn't happen yesterday, so I was like, this is what I was well deserved, well deserved.
So 2023, take me through that. You get a chance to sign with the XFL, with the San Antonio Brahmas,
Yes.
the Rocks League. He's brought it back after Vince McMahon and everything. He's trying to make it come back around and be something amazing. What was that like for you to get that chance to sign with the Brahmas and realize your dream of playing professional football? And the XFL is not on the lower level. That's kind of a mid-major professional league. I mean, what was that thought process like?
Man, I woke up that lovely one morning. I was going to the gym. Like I couldn't believe in myself. Midway to my second set, I was like, I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going. I cannot give it right now. 2 minutes in, I got that text from my agent. He says, hey, check your phone. You just got committed to the team. I'll see you in a bit. I was amazed. I was shocked. I was like Division 3 out of all people, me, you choose me, like me, I'm the guy. And that was just a wild experience. I was like, wow, I'm back. Like I'm back like I wanted to be 2 years ago.
So what was it like going? I'm take me through that. I mean, you went into camp with the Brahmas, correct?
No, the camp didn't necessarily happen. I was supposed to be one on one with the defensive coordinator
Okay.
going into, of course, out of the season of 2023 fall, going into 2024.
Okay.
So here's where the sad news kicks in. I am getting a text from the new head coach, new defensive coordinator. I forgot his name. He announced
Uh,
that, hey, Nazir,
Wade Phillips.
yes, that guy,
Coach
yes,
Phillips, former Dallas Cowboys coach,
yeah, yeah,
longtime defensive coordinator, defensive guru.
the whole nine, man, the whole
Yeah.
nine. And
Yeah.
knowing me, I was a Giants guy. I was a Giants guy my whole life. I'm not all players. This guy, really, this guy. But to shut down the sad news even faster, I was supposed to go up there and sign my letter of intent, actually informed with the defensive coordinator. But I was told with the UFL merge, a lot of changes were made. A lot of players was put into the portal, and a lot of promises was compromised. So week one of the merge, the players were safe. Everybody was safe. The coaching staff was vanished, gone. They got rid of who they didn't like, and the players, everybody was cool. Then the second week came. It was 3 phases. The second week it was like more so. Okay, let's see who we bringing in from the NFL, CFL, old players, see who we like, and of course the new coaches were taking like they bypassed half the roster from last year. And I was like, okay, I'm still in, I'm packing my bags, I'm getting ready. Third weekend, I was like 3 or 2 days away from setting my plane ticket, and the coach recently texted me and said, "Hey, by the end of this week, if you're not on the roster list, you'll be in the draft portal, and whatever happens from there, we can't really promise you nothing. So that's good luck to you." I didn't take no offense. I'm like, you know what? I picked me already. I'm here. I'm ready to go. I'm well trained. I'm prepared for this. Then with the end of week 3 came, beginning of week 4. They said, yeah, you could cancel your flight. This is not the team. The new coaching staff didn't want you. You're in the draft portal. And I was like, okay, that it was a bummer. It was a heartbreak. And ever since then, I was in the draft portal for the last 2 months. The season had restarted, and I had to pursue myself with another pro day at William Patterson. Of course.
So how'd your pro day go at William Patterson?
Of course, it was rushed again because I got let go the month and a half prior to going to the UFL. I kind of rushed into it. The drills was rushed. It was a rainy day. It was one of those days I could have just. It's like more so you could have just waited the next day.
Yeah,
it was performed.
So you didn't post good times, or okay.
It was more so frustration of me missing my first opportunity. I could have focused on that in my next one.
So since all this has happened, have you been able to kind of regroup from a mental and emotional standpoint and kind of refocus and reset your sights, or?
Let's see about this. I had that same mental rehab right now like I had when I left Stephen F. Aujstin. It's another like below moment, another degrading situation. It was more so like, why me out of all the players that happen to everybody? It was I was kind of putting myself down.
Yeah.
I was trying to focus myself like, okay, listen, I made it this far. I can't let go. I can't go back. There's no turning point.
Right.
So from there on out, I was like, I'm gonna take this time to better my craft, to work on myself, fix on the things I could have fixed, and whatever team will decide to put their wishes on me. I won't disappoint.
Yeah.
To this day.
It's kind of like as coaches when we tell receivers, and you were a receiver. Coaches always tell you when you drop a ball, what you're supposed to have, what short-term
memory.
It's like watching a movie. You rewind, you watch a chapter, you got to move on. You got to fast forward and watch the rest of the movie. Don't keep going back to the same chapter again. So at some point, you've got to be able to put this all out of your mind and just kind of refocus and reset. I want to talk about leadership.
Okay.
On the field, there's typically 2 types of leaders. There's the loud, boisterous, rah-rah type leaders, the Ray Lewises, the Ed Reeds, the talkative ones. Then there are the quiet, reserved, blue-collar, bring your lunch pail to work, lead by example type leaders. Which one are you as a linebacker, and why do you say that?
This is throughout all my levels of football growing up. I was always the quiet guy, I can show you better than I can tell you kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Because literally I've been playing for 12 years. I am 12-0 with keeping my mouth shut and actually letting my performance show on the field.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody had a question, anybody wanted to have a little pep talk about certain things, all I could say is just watch me. And let me know if I do it wrong or not, or correct me later on. So I was definitely the silent storm.
Now, as a linebacker, though, and I know I've coached the position, played that position a long, long time ago. Linebackers have to, at some point, turn the switch on and be able to talk and direct traffic and move pieces of around on the board. And are you able to turn that switch on and be that guy, that director, the guy
Yeah,
that can, hey, tap this guy, move down a little bit. Hey, move over there, that kind of thing. Or hey, keep an eye on so and so. Can you be that guy? Can you be that traffic director?
yes, I'm less of a hype man because I will never get that far unless the scores say different. But I am more
Mhm.
so of if you get too comfortable, too lackadaisical, I'm the one that to wake them up, turn the spice back on.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna allow everybody to just sit here and let them run down the middle, outside, left side. Like something is wrong. We're not up. We're still tired. We're still asleep. I
Mhm.
could definitely turn the switch on.
Okay. So you're that guy that grabs hold of somebody and gets them back in line.
When it matters most, and I feel like we're like loose just a little bit. Yeah, I'm definitely say something.
Okay.
See something, say something.
You talked about earlier in the interview, right from the very beginning almost. Um, you talked about being a role model. Football players are role models on and off the field. Um, they're an inspiration to the youth, young athletes, young adults, people in general. How important is it to you as a football player, as an aspiring professional football player, a once already professional football player? How important is it to you, the image that you portray on and off the field, to those people who may look up to you and call you a role model?
It literally was it was like an everyday process. You would see them in class, encourage them, keep going to class, study, get your grades up. Like this degree, we here for this degree first. Degree is always the problem of the motivation. Then of course I was seeing outside of school. I was like, hey man, be safe, man. Don't do nothing. Don't do nothing your parents don't want you to do, or some little motivation like that. Because I was always somebody. I was always somebody's big brother. And of course, like party wise, I seen them having any fun. Like make sure I get home safe. Like little things that would make them remind me that hey, I actually cared about them. I actually want them to succeed in life. So if it mattered to them that little much, and I actually do one thing on the field, whether there is back up on the line or watch a step or watch a snap count, it plays a factor out the walk. They could trust you on the field and also off the field. So it's more so trust that I wanted to build that connection with certain players.
I got you. So I'm curious, who do you look up to and why?
Um, as a player or as a whole, as in
It
general.
could be anybody. It could be a relative, a parent, somebody off the streets that walked past you and gave you some advice that stuck with you, a coach, a teacher, a professor, trainer, doctor, teammate, childhood friend, camp counselor, anybody.
Definitely, it was my younger brother. My younger brother, he's currently graduating from Rutgers as we speak.
Okay.
He made me switch up a little more as far as like I was losing myself with the poor mindset of short term memory. I actually had that memory stuck with me for the longest, and I seen him gather himself, and he turned his ways as well. He told everybody that who was he looking up to? It was because of me. He saw me the way I moved, the way I carried myself, how my characteristics were, and I took that and I looked at him. I was like, "Now you're my motivation because you were what I wanted to be at the next level."
Hmm.
Ever since then, I was like, "Okay, he's looking up to me. I have somebody really important to me that's close that I need to be, a person right now." So it was important for me to actually put that trust as far as what he had in me on the field.
Okay. I got you. When you're on the field, who do you emulate? Who do you try to model your game after?
Two players actually. It was Eric Berry had like the physical kind of the speed.
University of Tennessee. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Okay.
And
I
of
can
course,
handle that one.
the smartness and the mindset of the game as a whole, like I said, outside the field, Luke Kuechly.
Okay, that's interesting. Why? Talk about that. Why him?
Um, I mean, I'm not gonna. Of course, we had a bunch of greats back in the time at the moment. It was just when you do your research, you realize what kind of certain players are who and why certain players are named for that. First, I'm gonna start with Luke Kuechly. He actually studied the game himself. He actually learned the basics, learned the fundamentals. He actually watched QBs make certain movements, make certain tips, and he studied that. He studied that before the game, and I was like, wait, how did he know? How did he know the snap count? How did he know when to make this tackle? Like, who told him to go for that pick? As a coach, you can only coach a player for so much, but as a player, you can only learn whatever you want to put in your mindset. So he had this mindset where, okay, I'm going to this game, I'm knowing everything. If I miss anything, that was on me. He studied the game from A to Z. Kind of heard he missed some sleep a little bit just to get ready for the next, and he wasn't a yes man. He was on go. He was the reason why I actually watched a couple of his film after a while, and that made me realize, okay, I can't just play the game. I have to be the game. I have to like kind of like be that 1% up on everybody else. Just because that person I made that tackle for him because I know what's going on in that gap or such and such, et cetera, et cetera. But Eric Berry, like I told you, I was the receiver and I was like, dang, I'm about to be a linebacker. I'm about to go to defense. I'm about to lack my speed, physicality, all that. I learned how you can also catch the ball on the defensive side. And I was like, oh, I turned the game on one day. I heard he also recovered from some type of cancer. I can't believe what it was.
I think he had lymphoma.
At the time, yes. And
Yeah.
he motivated me. I was like, he really came back for something. Everybody thought he wouldn't do it. And
Mm-hmm.
ever since then, I've been watching him play and develop. I was like, yo, he could have went out a long time ago, but he turned the game around in his favor.
Yeah.
So I watched how he broke it down. I watched how he played. I watched how he literally studied the game like as if it was his last day. And it was just like, this guy is really a true impression of a motivation that I needed. Like it was certain things that I was lacking, and he just brought it back out of me. And I was impressed.
So
So Luke Kuechly, Nick Berry.
when you watch film though of linebackers, who is it that you watch the most? Is it old heads from like the old NFL film days, or is it modern day linebackers? Or
I mix it up a little bit because now the game is starting to get a little faster. If I'm not mistaken.
mm-hmm.
But I also watch like the old and the basic 101 football, like of course like Ray Lewis. We had like I said before, Luke Kuechly. Uh, Part of the Legion and Boom, we had KJ Wright, we had Bobby Wagner, those type of guys. So I would kind of bounce back from NFL to college and see where, if no matter if it's slow or fast, how fast can I get to this gap, or how fast I'm jumping to my step.
Have you ever dug back into the history of the game, like Lawrence Taylor, Jack Lambert,
You got me at Lawrence Taylor. That's
Derek Brooks, or not Derek Brooks, Derek Thomas,
Eric Thomas. Okay,
um,
yes.
guys like that? Have you ever like dug back in a little deeper and watched some of those guys? Or
Yes, a time where it was mid late going into sophomore junior year into college, because I feel like it wasn't the fact that I wasn't like mentally there. I was trying to figure out what made it so easy for those guys back then.
mm-hmm.
And all they said was just read your keys. Read your keys. It was simple. Read your keys. Yeah. The flow of the ball will take you to where you have to go.
Yeah,
It was just that simple. I will always think, let me get here fast. Let me hurry before they make a first down. And that's how you mess up as an individual. You just mess the whole team up as one person.
when I
But
was a kid growing up and I started playing linebacker, I always looked at Dick Butkus, Mike Singletary.
that's
Jack Lambert played for the Steelers. They called him Count Dracula in cleats. Um, I was a fan of those guys when I was a kid. And then I became a fan of Ray Lewis. I'm curious, as you watch Ray Lewis, what is it that you take away from him as a player and a person that you want to try to emulate or ensure that part of your on-field persona, your off-field persona kind of fits that piece that you took away?
Which it goes back to like you said, what kind of player am I? Am I the loudmouth or am I the one I don't know, just keep my composure?
Mm-hmm.
Watching him made me realize he can do both. He could be the loudmouth and keep his composure.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the things I was lacking. I feel like I used to be nervous in the beginning. Now it's more so I want to get this job done. But watching him, he actually loved the game. He was appreciating. He loved the atmosphere. He enjoyed every snap. So I wanted to enjoy every snap just like he did, but with that dog mentality.
So I'm curious, have you done his deck of card workouts? Have you heard about his deck of card workouts?
I heard about it. It was one of those difficulty situations. I heard about those. The 52 pickup, I believe.
Yeah, so he goes through a whole deck of cards, and every card that he lays down, he does a certain number of push-ups. Uh-oh, we lost him there for a second. Your camera went off, Nazir. There we go. You're back.
We good.
You're back.
Sorry,
so
connection.
He would flip the card, and whatever the number was, he'd do that number of push-ups. And of course, face cards were, I think he said 10, and then aces were I think he said 15. And so he would run through the whole deck. He'd do push-ups, and he'd reshuffle the cards, and he'd do sit-ups, and he would run through the whole deck of 52. Can you imagine the number of push-ups and sit-ups at the end of that workout?
I promise you, I will not lie, even if I'm on stream right now. I did that for one set. And I remember correctly, my father, he would switch the Joker to 10, the King to 15, the Ace to 20. And I was like, okay, you got it. I had Ace 3 times. I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm done. I can't do it. I was only young, so I was like, at the time growing up, I needed that back then, but now it was like, I couldn't do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with Nazir Wright, 6'2", 230-pound outside backer, edge, Dodge City Community College, Stephen F. Aujstin University, William Patterson University. This young man's got all sorts of accolades, multiple-time All-Conference, All-American, Defensive Player of the Year for the NJAC. 2023 had a chance to sign with the San Antonio Brahmas of the XFL. He's overcome medical conditions throughout his college career that caused disruptions with his hydration and bodily processing of fluids and things to return to the field and just absolutely dominate. And this is a young man that you can tell is a very intelligent young man. So if you're watching, if you have a question that you would personally like to ask regarding his football career, awards, honors, his goals and plans professionally, please type that in the comments, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you're watching. It'll pop up over here. We'll gladly pause and address those questions, comments. If you're a coach, scout, general manager, player personnel director, you want to offer an opportunity, extend an opportunity, feel free to share that through the comments as well. It'll pop up over here. We'll gladly stop and address those as they come through. We do encourage participation. Please, don't hesitate to ask a question if you have something that you would like to know regarding production, awards and honors, playing ability, skills, whatever. Feel free to ask. I wanted to talk about, before we go on to the next question, let's do this. I made sure that I had this available so that we could show it and we could talk about it a little bit. Want to kind of dig a little bit deeper into your football IQ, your knowledge of the game, and really just kind of talking about your highlight film, at least the one that you posted on Euro Players. What we found with you. So talk about, just walk us through this very first play right here.
That was a critical third down.
What are you seeing across from you first and foremost when you're reading and diagnosing? What are you seeing?
First, I'm checking the cadence of the quarterback because, as I studied previously, I'm looking at the hi hats of the old lineman. I'm guessing, see if it's pass or run. Because prior to that quarter, they was getting a little lazy after a while. So I was okay. The only way I can guarantee I know this play back from back of my head. The only reason why I knew it was going on my side, I heard one of the old linemen bring over the extra hat just in case I rushed the edge, and they wanted the first down. And I was okay. The coach told me last minute, if you see an extra hat on your side of the ball, break out to the curl flat. And knowing me, I'm like, okay, it's third down. I could get the sack. I'm right there, but they know I'm coming, so I had to switch my stance for like two seconds, and then break out of there. Not too fast, but like kind of so that you're going, and then get in a position.
So right away, you're showing pass drop ability right out of the gate with your film here. Now, talk to us about this play here.
Oh, this is definitely one of my. I was surprised I was this fast actually. We were down actually by 2 in this game going into the half, and I was literally. I think they changed the rules recently. A kick return or a punt kick, a block kick will give you 2 points. So this is where the game actually changed for, of course, this team alone in the history of going against Montclair State University. Kind of fast right there. Kind of fast.
Yeah, you're showing a little speed there.
Just a little bit, not too much.
So what's going on here? What are you seeing from the offensive side when you step up to the line of scrimmage?
So, like I said, this is our nickel package. We were in the same critical situation with the third down as the first play we seen with the pick. I noticed I didn't have an extra hat, and I know there was they had the first 5 out, and they noticed if they watched me from last game, I guess the outside tackle was like too slow at the moment. They should know I was actually coming on this play, and I gave the same stance as everything as the last film, and I actually showed like I was in the pass drop. But as I checked the cadence, I see where the linebacker was coming, the running back was coming from. I was like, this is my shot, it's my go. And he kind of tell you pick me up last second too. So if I was even a second slower, that was my thigh.
Really?
He tried to, the cheap cut block, but of course, that's where the physics come into play.
All right. So what about right here? What are we looking at?
It's like another rough team. This is, I believe, Salisbury. They was known for their wing tee football, old fashioned wing tee.
Oh yeah, run the football.
Yes, this was. I kid you not. I was struggling this whole week just studying who would get the ball, who would show like a weakness of the offense. This play alone was like a bust because it was supposed to come my way and I was supposed to clock it back, but
yep.
Of course, quarterback read it wrong, running back ran the wrong way. But this game alone, I was troubled for that whole 4 or 5 days. The foot movement, the motion, the fake jet, the fake dive. It was. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it by myself. Actually, I was like the leading senior of that team, and it was hard for me to tell the team, "Hey, he's coming," or "Watch your step."
Yeah, wing tee is counters, traps, butt plays. A lot of pulling guards. Yeah, it's a real read your key offense. You got to really read what's going on. So you're coming off the edge here, and obviously you make a big play. Um, what about right here? What's the read? What's the read across the line of scrimmage there?
This is the same team with the same format, and I actually thought I had this play with the run because I actually stuffed the counter coming in and the edge, but this is more so of a make it break it decision. It was like, do you want the first down and touchdown? Or you want to just get the first and regroup and go again? So it was more so of a read run drop and then pass drop. But of course, it was too late, so I just gathered my foot and go from there.
You've got exceptional closing speed, by the way.
Thank you.
Watching this right here, like you said, you got to make a decision of what you want to do, what you want to give up, what you don't what you do not want to give up. I mean, you use your hands, great job, extension, getting the offensive lineman off of you. Boom, you turn. I mean, you run this down in a hurry. Like, you close pretty daggum quickly. What about this one?
I'm not gonna lie. I was this probably brought me back to the play I took about in high school when I had the helmet knock off. This is more so those drills that we do at the beginning of the practice and at the end of the practice, the suicide drills.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the pursuit drill, basically. So I treated this play exactly like the pursuit drill. I overstepped my tackle. I kind of knocked the wrong person in the play, and I kind of gathered my step. I was like, you know what? It's my last. This game moment was like my last game, my last senior game ever, my collegiate football ever. So I made every play count this game.
So this one looks like pretty much they're in 22 personnel, or 21 rather.
21.
21, two tights, one running back. What comes out of this?
So, like I said, they actually study film. They lack physique at the moment. The point of this formation was to stop the edges from coming in too far. So what they did with me was they wanted an extra hat on my side to make sure I don't cut that backside post. Because for some reason, the guy even told me at the end of the game, we designed this defense for you. You're always cutting back last minute. For some reason, we just can't find a block for you, so we rather add extra hats to your side. Like, without that guy at the edge alone, I was stopping this play right there.
So then he cuts back, and you got to redirect.
Yes. And then
So run it down from the backside again, basically. You run it down from the backside twice.
Yes.
You run it down here, parallel to the line of scrimmage. Oh, he cuts back. Now you got to redirect and run it back down again.
Yes. Recover the football and actually eventually end up in our advantage for scoring the touchdown the next drive.
All right, let's talk about this one here. What you got?
The team that I caught that pick from that first play, this is the next year following. I'm familiar with the running back. I'm familiar how he plays, and I actually watched this. This is their favorite play. This is how they get a lot of their first down and more. I noticed the tackle on my side wasn't like he didn't position himself the right way. So I kind of cheated his right knee blocking into me to the left. I noticed he was weak. I was told by certain coaches and scouts that he's not performing well on that side. So I kind of attacked his weakness and actually like went after it. And as they know, he couldn't stop me for it. I had stood him up and I kind of, went overboard in this play. A little too excited. But it was the point I beat the point of attention at the point.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're a physical linebacker. I mean, you can see it right here.
That was another best game I had.
All right, so right here, coming off the edge.
We call that what they ran was a heavy 21 personnel.
Okay.
That play right there was long for to stack me twice, but they noticed I wasn't coming from the edge. I actually, I forgot the technique I ran. It was an in technique. I forgot the definition of it was, but it was more so to turn my body in as if I was going in rather than I was going out because the play was designed to hit the strong side and away from me.
Okay.
So I kind of like narrow myself going in. I see it's weird. The tight end and the tackle was facing in. So I'm like, it was a quick game. It's third down. So I'm like, why are they facing in? And I noticed the fullback wasn't looking at me. He was looking at the linebacker on the other side. He kind of gave himself up by his eyes. So I was like, okay, I'm seeing this going. I'm analyzing it. They're going away from me. So if I crash down, knock down the blocker before they even touch anybody else, I have the advantage. And I beat that guy, of course, with speed. So that kind of was another advantage.
Well, like maybe you pulled a rip move.
In a way,
kind of dip your shoulder a little bit.
Yes. Because the goal was to cut me off for that initial reason. But of course, speed was my main factor. This was another third down, 3rd and 11.
So so the QB just starts bouncing around.
Most likely.
Yeah, he takes a snap. Run back takes off. Looks like in a swing or kind of a bubble. QB doesn't see anything, and all of a sudden he panics and starts bouncing around.
Yes.
And so then you have to kind of redirect because you've already kind of taken a step reading inside. You've got to redirect and get back outside and chase him down again.
Because prior to that play before, the play that I kind of like, didn't tackle him for real, didn't like get him like where he wanted to be at. He actually scored that play. And this made me realize, okay, we're not letting this happen again. I'm shutting down this drive right now as we speak. So I didn't want to repeat history with that same play alone.
I mean, you play with a high motor. You got relentless pursuit. You do a great job with your hands. I mean, you do a really good job of keeping separation between you and the tight end or offensive lineman.
Yes.
But I mean, you play with a really high motor and a relentless pursuit. That's one of the things that really impressed me. And obviously your closing speed. You've got exceptional closing speed. So right here, this is against Sunny Maritime, right?
Yes, in New York.
I knew that because I had spoken with a QB that was from there, Steve Stacy.
I forgot what year he played in, but I'm familiar with his name.
Yeah, I recognized the water and where the stadium is. I knew that was Sunny Maritime. It's kind of a pretty setting, actually, by the water like that.
It was a great view after, of course, the win. So,
well, it probably sucks too if you punt the ball and you shank it and it goes way out there in the water.
We had a few issues with that, but
yeah, lose a football or two, I'm sure.
Yes.
So, talk about this right here. What's going on right here?
So the play was this is supposed to be a quick game. I was told this game alone they want the ball out their hands within 2 seconds. Literally, again, designed for me to not get there fast enough. Mm-hmm. They had a recent right tackle that was, of course, their senior was hurt, so they had a sophomore that played that game. They wanted the strong side to be their go-to side all times, no matter what. So they want the ball out in 2 seconds. And I guess the sophomore lacked, some type of like physicality with me, and I kind of beat it to the punch, and I didn't want him scoring in this drive.
You've got an explosive jump off the ball too, by the way. That's something I didn't mention earlier. But you are explosive out of your jump off the line of scrimmage. So you basically just took advantage of a young kid, basically a rookie.
Yeah, it's hard to say, man. I'm sorry. Okay. That was a scheme. That was how I designed it.
It's okay if that's how it works out. It's how it works out. Rookies got to learn at some point, right?
Yeah.
Just a bad day that he had to learn with you.
Definitely, most definitely.
So talk about this one here. I mean, you're back here in the backfield again, causing havoc. I mean, what's going on with this one?
This game alone is probably one of my physical games I ever played in my collegiate career ever. Like as far as all seniors, of course. As you can see, I don't know if you can tell, but third and forever right now. It's because
Yeah, third and about a mile.
yes, and they wanted to, of course, take it. They was going into second half. They were up by it was 13. They wanted to score one more chance before they get a shot going to the
They
next.
got two. Is it two? But not two. But let's see. There's two over here.
You got it's another 20-21 set. Tight end in the back.
Okay.
Tight end in the wing.
Okay.
So they wanted an extra hat. They wanted to move the wing inside just in case I got out faster. They wanted to chip me with the fullback for as they do as well route. Get some
Okay.
help with the protection. So I had a chip receiver. I had an outside tackle blocking me, and I had a running back at the same time. So like more like a 3 versus 1.
Gotcha.
But of
So
course,
you get off the ball and just doing what you do, causing havoc in the backfield.
yes. And I kind of like fooled the running back because I noticed he was young too. He was a junior switching from his position. And I noticed if he sees me cheat in, he's going to want to cut in. And I had to like fake the end and go around about.
So again, you taking advantage of a rookie.
The tackle was a hell of a senior. I'll give you that. But the running back, it wasn't up there yet. It was part of our nickel package against their third down special.
So here's Maritime again.
Yes. Another third down, of course.
Third down. What we got here? 2 receivers. What we got? 2 on the other side, I think.
Yeah, with the backup quarters away from me.
Well, it's an empty backfield, so.
Oh no, it's not. The running back is to the right.
Oh, okay. There he is.
Kind of blended in a little bit.
He's kind of hid by the QB. So okay, so it is 2 by 2.
Yes. And I noticed that game, the back had to choose between me and him. They knew my stats before coming in. I was like, I'm not gonna be that guy. I'm not gonna want to bum rush everybody. Just read the game, slow it down, and if it's your turn to go, your turn to go. If it's not, just redirect. And of course, the results showed.
I mean, right here, you show a lot of patience coming off and kind of settling down and letting the QB decide what he's going to do before you just attack. Like you could have just kind of ran in willy-nilly and maybe missed him or whatever, but you kind of notice him starting to step up in the pocket, so you kind of ease up and let him, figure out what he's going to do. All right, now I'm going to get you.
If I went full speed like I wanted to, my former outside running linebacker would have felt the pain more than the QB.
Yeah, I mean the QB sensed it. I mean, his clock in his head went off, and he's like, "Man, I got to get out of here."
Most definitely, yes.
So he started stepping up, and then I watch you coming off the edge, and you kind of ease up just enough to let him decide what he's going to do, and then you jump him.
You get about 2.5, 3 seconds with me, so no promises.
But again, I mean, you got this explosive jump off the ball, man. I mean, you literally are back there in a heartbeat. I mean, you're pretty explosive out of your jump. Is that something you work on a lot during the off season, as far as getting in a good stance and getting a good explosive jump, or that's something that kind of comes natural to you?
With me, I hate getting blocked. I don't like when people like touch me unnecessarily. Okay. So if I could find a way without doing anything illegal to a player by beating to the punch first, then so be it. I'll work on that. So it's more so stance, more so positioning, more so in not showing my opponent where I'm going, but of course my position itself is going to allow me to get to the ball faster.
So right here, you're kind of out wide. You're outside the view here. I mean, you come screaming across. So
we had to this game right here. The quarterback had some speed. So I believe he ran a 4. He ran a high 4.3. So I was told to watch out for QB sneak. Like this game alone.
But I mean, you just come screaming across.
Oh, the ball was declared. That was my goal. The ball was definitely cleared.
Yeah. You can see the little hesitation right here as you come into view. You hesitate right there. You look, okay, QB doesn't have it. You shift gears again and kind of speed back up.
Yes.
So this is a home game. William Patterson.
This, I believe, is a chase down. Yes, this is a chase down towards the end. It's going towards the end of my film. This was more so a pursuit drill for me. I never did that before. I'm usually the one that stops like halfway through the field, let them finish up. But more so as I'm learning myself, I'm like, I feel like every play matters, no matter if it's an assist tackle, if it's a solo tackle, tackle for loss. I figure if I was to help out and make a difference, how far would a running back will go?
So you're literally this play here. You're running sideline to sideline, basically.
Yes, definitely. I could have easily given up after seeing 4 to 5 hats, but more so me. If he's not down, then the whistle's not blown, then why stop? Keep going.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're right here with Nazir Wright, 6'2", 230-pound outside backer edge. Dodge City Community College, Stephen F. Aujstin, William Patterson University, multiple time first team all conference NJAC, second team ECAC. He was the NJAC Sam Mills Defensive Player of the Year in 2022. He was an All-American. 2023, he had a chance to sign with the San Antonio Brahmas of the XFL. He's overcome medical conditions that interfered with his bodily processes of processing fluids and disrupted his hydration process. And so he's fought through that. He's come back. He's dominated D3. He had a very promising D1 tour at Stephen F. Aujstin before the medical issues. Persevered. He's fought through a lot of adversity to put himself back where he is now. He's looking for a chance to get back to where he was and reach the UFL, move on up CFL, NFL, because he's got that kind of potential. He's as we've shown on film here, explosive jump off the line of scrimmage, exceptional closing speed, explosive jump, disruptive force in the backfield. This young man is a physical football player. He plays with a high motor, a relentless pursuit of the ball. If you're just joining us, over the course of his career, 40 games played, 118 solo tackles, 93 assisted for a total of 211 tackles on his career, 13 sacks, 39 and a half tackles for loss, 18 pass deflections, 5 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, 4 block kicks, 1 interception on his career. Just an outstanding young man with a high football IQ, very intelligent, understands the game, operated out of multiple defensive schemes, as we talked about a little earlier, 4-2-5, 3-3-5, 4-3-3-4. Young man can do it all. And this is a guy that you want on your roster. This is a guy that's going to do big things and reach the big 3 again very soon. Very, very soon, I should say. If you have questions, please feel free to send them across through the comments, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, whatever it may be. Type them into the comment section. They'll come up over here. We'll gladly pause and address those questions that you may have that you want to know about Nazir. If you're a coach, scout, GM, player personnel director, and you want to extend an opportunity, send those across as well. We'd love to hear any opportunities that are out there. We encourage participation. We would love any questions you may have and want to know. But we're here with Nazir, taking some time to get to know him and his story. Nazir, I'm curious. When the final game is played and your football career is over, whether your body just tells you, "Hey, we've taken enough beating and this is kind of where it stops, or you conscientiously decide, hey, I'm ready to turn the page, start a new chapter in the book. Where do you go next? What are your dreams? What are your goals? What are your plans after the game of football?
That's a tough question. I can simply answer that. I, as of course a college student athlete, I was studying psychology and study the human mindset. I want to become a home psych therapist. I know there's a lot of frustration and anxiety and worries going on outside of like people going to school, going to their favorite job, they work, their environment in general. I notice there's things that they can control mentally as far as moving on to the next day, and it can sometimes lead to something fatal, something suicidal, or depression. So to defeat that path in hand, at first I would like to talk and have a conversation with them and actually see where I could come at. And after that, it was I'm a home psych therapist.
How have you been able to apply psychology on the field as a linebacker?
As far as my mindset with everything, it was something it had happened like recently. It was happening throughout the years. It was developing. I wanted to help this person out, help that person out. I wanted to seek some type of attention that, hey, this guy helped me with my problem. Go talk to him. I was just born to make people smile, and that was my whole goal. If you're not sad, if you're not depressed, I did my job at the end of the day.
How do you use it, though, against offensive linemen, running backs, tight ends? How do you apply psychology to defeat them at the line of scrimmage?
That the whole key, like turning it on, it was I couldn't help you mentally at that point. It was more so, what can I do to fix my depression? What can I do to fix my frustration? And
Okay.
I kind of flipped on to the game a little bit. You know what? Because I can't handle it by myself. So it was like, if I could go do this every fourth down, every third down, I should feel amazing after the game. My anger is gone. My problems is gone. I could do it again next game, the next game, so on and so forth.
For the next 2 minutes, I want you to put on your used car salesman hat or your car salesman hat.
Yes.
I want you to look in the camera and tell any coach or scout or GM or player personnel director that might see this why they should give you another opportunity, why they should sign you to a contract, whether it be UFL, CFL, NFL, overseas, wherever it may be. What is it that you bring to the table? What makes you stand out versus other linebackers? Why is it they should look at you before somebody else? Take the next 2 minutes and give your best sales pitch.
Roger that. I came from a long, treacherous journey. I seen the lows. I seen the discontinues. I seen the failures. I seen the upsets. I seen it all. I can only imagine where would I be if I wasn't there. Right to this day, I overcame so many obstacles. I overcame so many opportunities. I've been let down a lot of times, and I'm still thriving. I'm still smiling. I'm still pursuing to be the best one I want to be today. And if any chance was to be given to me at any point, at any given time, you trust to believe you will not mess up. You did not make a mistake. I'm that guy you would think, hey, it's fourth down, it's 4th and 1, they got to score anyways. No, I stopped them. I'm the one that did that. I promise you what I did in the beginning. I'm making a promise now. I have no regrets as far as what I want to do when it comes to this. So any opportunity that's going to happen now, I promise you, will make the right decision and put me in your roster. I'm well ready and deserved for this position.
If the UFL were to open up a door tomorrow, what's going to happen when you get in that door?
It's time to run it back. It's time to make the decision that the coach did last 2 years ago. Make him feel guilty about what he did. It's time to. This is payback season. Most definitely.
Here's the most difficult question of this entire interview. And I'm just curious to how your answer is going to go. But I ask this of everybody. I always ask one really difficult question Camera went out again.
Just freaking. Sorry about the connection, sir, man.
No, you're good. There you go. You're back.
Sorry.
All right. This is a 3-part question. EA Sports, they took away the game of college football. They took it away from us several years ago. After some things were worked out, dust settled, they gave it back to us. Part A, do you own it? Part B, have you played it? Part C, if you have played it, who do you run with?
Oh my goodness.
It's a curveball. I try to break up the monotony at the end of the interview. Little chance to smile and have a little fun.
Run the last three part of the questions back. The connection went out.
All right. EA Sports college football. They gave it back to us after they took it away several years ago. Part A is, do you own it? Part B, have you played it? Part C, if you have played it, who you running with?
Oof. For NFL and college, or either or?
No, college football, EA Sports.
EA Sports. Team wise?
Yeah, what team do you run with if you play?
Just because of the return guy they had way back on number 13, the Anthony Thomas. I'm going with the Oregon Ducks.
Okay.
Definitely.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Good answer. I
mean, they had everything, man. Nike was over-controlled or overpopulated over there.
Well, you know who their biggest booster is, right? Their biggest supporter?
I'm not familiar with what, Nike, I believe?
Yeah, Uncle Phil. Phil Knight, the owner of Nike, is the biggest booster of the Oregon sports program.
Of course, I was jealous because I never got the opportunity to go there. But I always admired them. They had some style every game.
They've got probably 20-plus uniform combinations and helmets and cleats that they get to choose from. I mean, every year they go to a bowl game, they get a new uniform, new helmet, new set of cleats. Every major rivalry game, they get a new uniform, new helmet, new set of cleats. I mean, a few years ago, they had a breast cancer awareness uniform, black and pink, and I was like, man, that's pretty tight too. Like,
phenomenal. Like, what Oregon can't do. Like,
you got Phil Knight at the helm. I mean, there isn't anything you can't do. I mean, they get everything. So, listen, this has been amazing, and I want to thank you for taking time out tonight. I want to thank you for putting your trust in me, Hidden Gems, allowing us to be part of your journey to be the driving force behind the next chapter of your football career. We take that very seriously. Me being fond of the linebacker position as a linebacker coach, I take that even more seriously. You're an amazing athlete. You've got an amazing resume, awards and honors, your production in college, the fact you've already been in the XFL and you've had a chance to reach the big three and you're trying to get back there. It's important to me that we open those doors very quickly. And so I just want to thank you for taking time out and sitting down with me. I know we've been playing tag, trying to get this thing done. I can't thank you enough. I mean, I mean that sincerely. Tell everybody what social media platforms you're on. What are your user handles? How can they reach you if they want to reach out directly?
I don't know if you could put the name on the bottom. It's probably be more easier. The names right now is kind of foggy, but okay. I have Twitter, I have Instagram, and kind of slow on Facebook, but you can try to reach me out. It's Heartbreak Kit _17, Heartbreak Kit with 1K on Instagram, and it should be on Twitter as well.
Okay. And you can see, you can access his social media pages from our website. You can also see his electronic scouting profile page on our website, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This interview will go on that profile page probably later tonight as I get a chance to do that. You can see his film on there. You can read about his journey, his accolades, his playing experience. Any piece of information we can provide on there, we're trying to provide that to you. We're looking forward to hearing any and all opportunities especially the big three, CFL, UFL, NFL, that we can open doors to. We look forward to just seeing the next step in this young man's journey. Special player, special person, overcome some real adversity, some real trials and tribulations, and he's back standing tall. He's dominating on the football field. Man, psychology major. I mean, that's pretty impressive as a linebacker. And we're just, we're excited to have him as part of the Hidden Gems family. So please feel free to reach out. You can direct message us on social media. You can email us, text us, call us. That information has been scrolling at the bottom of the screen throughout the interview. Feel free to access that profile page and definitely open the door for an opportunity for this young man. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody that has watched, everybody that's liked. We appreciate all the viewership. We look forward to seeing everybody back here on another Hidden Gems live stream interview. I hope everybody has a good rest of your week. Tomorrow's Hump Day. Get through Hump Day and get to the weekend. Like I said, we'll see everybody back here again soon. So with that being said, have a good night. Thank you so much.